We're rolling. And we're live. Welcome to everybody's favorite Sunday morning political talk show, the Rhino Podcast. Hi, everybody. Hi, Caitlin.
Hey, Jeff. How's it going?
Cup of coffee number two.
Number two. Oh, I'm actually still on iced coffee number one that I made myself this morning because we have like 24 inches of snow on the ground up
That's
here.
a psycho move. You made iced coffee? Oh, God.
It's not psycho.
Psycho.
Of course, I made iced coffee. Iced coffee is good.
Iced coffee is good.
Around.
Ugh, iced coffee when it's 9 degrees it's 9 degrees this morning. 9, and I went out to finish. This is the strategy. When we get a blizzard, we had 2 feet of snow. The snowblower cannot handle 2 feet of snow, right? So you have to. So yesterday I did it like 3 times. I did the driveway and the walkway, and that way.
While it was snowing.
Yeah, I went head to toe, face mask, goggles, hood, the whole thing, and cleared the driveway a bunch periodically because there's nothing else you can do except stay inside and, do whatever you would do inside. So yeah, I did that, and today was not too bad. Snowblower took a minute to start up, but yeah, and then it was a breeze clearing it. Now it's bright and sunny, and I'm drinking hot coffee like a normal person, not a psycho, with iced coffee.
Well, I mean, I'm a cold-hearted Republican bitch, so iced coffee.
You're a mean girl.
I'm a mean girl.
You're a mean girl.
I went out and shoveled, actually. It didn't take me that long. So the snow is not like super icy. It's not super heavy. It's like pretty like light and fluffy, yeah. It was light and fluffy. So I was able to dig my car out in like 15 minutes. I was like super shocked.
Yeah. I wish if my daughter didn't have a birthday party today, I would 100% like, let's go up north. I would have been up at like 6 o'clock. Come on, kid, let's hit the slopes. But oh well. Yeah, you wouldn't have had a fabulous episode right now of your favorite podcast because that would have been snowboarding. But we have a good show planned for you today. First up, Caitlin, let's do this. Let's play some great clips from recent history, if you're ready. I'm going to play you the audio here. Let's just play this. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the chair then. So that is irrelevant. Would you accept the offer if it was made in 2024?
I don't think he's running it, so I think it's a hypothetical that's not even would not even exist.
No hypothetical. He says he won the election. It was stolen. Is he right?
No, look, those states, obviously they've got to sort out if they had any problems with voting. But look, I don't think it was a stolen election. I just think that, again.
You know who that is, Caitlin?
That is Mr. Jeff Deal.
That's correct. That is Jeff Deal.
Who we have talked about before and went through this interview before.
We did. And this is interesting because at the time when we reviewed this interview, we were like, oh, that's pretty normal. Look at that. He says he didn't steal it. You know what happened? Just a few short weeks later, when Jeff wanted to get the endorsement of former President Donald Trump, Jeff said, sadly, it has become clear as the audit results from Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania have come to light that the 2020 election was rigged. Well, he completely backtracked on that. And by the way, the audit results didn't say that at all. In fact, I think Arizona...
Trump votes in Arizona, if I remember right.
Yeah, he lost votes. And this is real important because it shows you the kind of candidate he is and the kind of person he is, where to get the endorsement of a president who's toxic, radioactive in Massachusetts, he was willing to completely backtrack on what he actually believes, which is probably what he said in the Jim Braude interview. and then say, just for a cheap endorsement, when Baker was still, when we were still thought Charlie Baker was running for office, and now again he's fucked himself with that statement saying that the 2020 election was rigged. So why do we bring this up? Because it looks like a gentleman by the name of Chris Doty is running for governor, and I have no idea who Chris Doty is, and he'll probably watch this, and I know his consultants are going to watch this, because a lot of other people are going to watch this, and I wish him the best of luck. I don't know anything about him other than the boring, generic, uninteresting, uninspiring video that he put out, which I guess if that's what you're going for, great. But maybe we need boring and uninteresting and generic. That could very well win the primary.
I have a different take on that than you.
Okay.
I think boring and uninteresting appeals to New England people.
Just New England people?
Yeah, I mean, like, this type of campaign would not get off the ground in like Florida.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have to, or Texas, or I mean, even in like Ohio or like somewhere out Midwest. I mean, even
you can keep naming everywhere else, and just you're gonna have to restrict it that New England it'll work. I'm not sold that it'll work, but okay.
I don't think. I mean, like, if you're going up against Maura Healey, she's boring. Like, I have to say, she's boring and inauthentic. So I'm not impressed with her at all. I think she's wooden, and I think that sells to New England. I think the only thing that works for her is that the politics are super progressive compared to other places. So she doesn't have to have a dynamic personality. I don't think that Charlie Baker really has a dynamic personality either. So I
think that's a fair assessment.
I'm not saying that he's wooden or inauthentic. I think that that's just him. But I think that appeals to Massachusetts and not New Hampshire, but maybe Vermont, a little bit of Maine, a little bit more than per se the politics of Florida, Kentucky, Texas. Louisiana.
California.
Should I go down the list?
Yeah, there's 49 other states, Caitlin. I think we can rattle.
Ohio, even Indiana, guys.
I think here. So this is. Let me first say this to Holly. Holly, I'm going to call a truce with you. Whatever was said in the past, I'll let bygones.
Oh my God.
I'll let bygones be bygones. What's that? So wait. Sorry. Go ahead.
I guess I didn't know that you needed to do a mea culpa with.
Oh no, there's no. Oh no. Let me be very clear. There's no mea culpa on this. I'm calling a truce because she backed Jeff forever. She was Jeff's campaign guru, and she won primaries, and she'll hopefully win this primary. And she's good at it. She's good at winning primaries. The general election, although, is another thing. And back when Jeff ran for state senate, I was pissed because I was helping to run the Young Republicans and organized a really good group of YRs to go knock on doors over a weekend in October, like leading up to his. Oh, no, it wasn't October, but it was a special election. It was a state. We were good at winning special elections, right? And he was running for state senate. He's a popular state rep, right? And I think so. This must have been we were using app technology, right? There's an app for walkbooks that you can do, and it maps out exactly what houses to hit, what order to hit them in. Very efficient. It makes sense, right? And because so there was like just a little skirmish with this where I was pissed because they didn't want to use the app because they didn't want to share data with the state party. It was a whole pissing contest. It was dumb. It was stupid. And because of that, I had a couple dozen young Republicans who were out there willing to knock on doors and help get Jeff elected, were like on these paper spreadsheets, these printed out paper spreadsheets.
And I just want to make it clear that you, Jeff, and I are team players, guys. Like, at the end, we will come and we'll bat for the team. Okay? I just want to make sure that that's very clear. pissing matches within the party and drama within the party, that happens, but we're team players.
No, let me tell you, whoever wins the Republican primary, I'm going to vote for them. You know, depending on who it is, I may or may not write them a check or campaign for them, but I'll vote for them. You will get my vote in November. But you know, but with Jeff, anyway, that situation where it was just like, it was completely poorly run, and Jeff lost what, in my terms, was a winnable state Senate special election. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, the intra-party drama with Holly and stuff, but whatever. I'm done. Truce. Like, Jeff has zero shot at becoming governor of the Commonwealth. None. Because of the things like the clip we just played, because he's got Jim Lyons backing him, because of a whole other host of factors, right? So it's it's done.
It's the Trump stuff, dude. Like, you need to appeal to people who don't like Trump, and Massachusetts doesn't like Trump. Get over it.
Yep. And so I'll be supporting Chris. I know very little about him from, you know, just his campaign video. Seems like a successful, nice guy, soft-spoken, you know, not a fire breather, and it could totally work. You know, I would think that if I'm running that campaign, the only thing I'm talking about is the schools.
Yeah.
Schools. Just breaking down every aspect of where the school, you know, the liberals and progressives have failed us, but only, you know, drawing some distinctions of some executive orders that you might have put into place as governor that weren't put into place, especially now that we have with masking in real time. You can talk about it. But schools are going to be the issue for this year. And I think you'll get a lot of parents waking up, and you don't have to yell about it. And this is the thing. I don't think Chris is the kind of guy that like gets, like I said, he's not a fire breather, but he seems pretty soft spoken, which is good.
How many people in Massachusetts really are fire breathers? I was not born here, so I'm not naturally.
The progressives are. The progressives are.
Well, I mean, that's just because progressivism calls for that. If you're any conservative or center right, like, you're just not going to be that type. You're normal. Yeah. So that makes sense. But the rapid Trump people are very. Well,
this is the thing. Like, Chris is in a unique position where he can be just normal, and I would honestly run on those words. We'll sign a little release and let you use the term normal.
The leader of the normals. Well, we're the leader of the normals. You can just take the term.
Yeah, you could take the term, because Jeff is you know, says the 2020 election was rigged and that Trump won it, and he did right. And it's thoroughly on Team Trump. So he's on the right side of not normal, and you're going to be running against Maura Healey, who was comfortable letting the country burn because that's how forests grow, or something like that. When all the rioting was going on, and that's over here, and that's completely abnormal. And as well as Sonia Chang Diaz and every other Democrat that's going to be coming at you. So there's a huge lane of normal that you can go. Yeah. And I would lean into it, and I mean this. In your next video, you know, I wouldn't talk about, you know, how necessarily you built a business, and I would literally say, hi, my name's Chris, and I'm normal. I'm not nutty like this guy. I'm not nutty like this broad. Vote for me. And you do well. You would do well.
And focus on real issues that affect, like, the American poor. Like, we see Republicans having success when they run on things like, you know, like schools right now. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's going to affect every single voter. And you want to, you know, talk about, like, maybe our unemployment rate and how inflation has been really affecting the Massachusetts taxpayer, and how we can make sure on a state level we can give relief or anything that we can do that would help those people. Obviously can't help the federal issue, but, like, I mean, how can the state help give some relief based on that? Again, talk about real issues. You can talk about being a businessman as much as possible. Like,
that's where I wanted. Like, no, I mean, it's great, and he's a successful guy, good for him, but other people don't care. Like, you know, there was a good 45 seconds, a minute of the clip of how the business was built and how it was a great business and employs lots of people. Okay. But honestly, that's 5 seconds, man. Nobody, like, you need to, you know, don't tell people about yourself. Okay. Tell them what your plan is to do. Okay. And I get it was an introduction video and, oh, Jeff, be time and it's early. Yeah. I get all that consultant brain that I'm going to get direct messages on. You know, but it should be entirely focused on what changes you would make that are actually just normal. Just basic things that your average parent, voting parent, is going to say yes. Okay? You know, bash remote learning and who supported it, which is going to be the progressives, and how they'll support the unions. Don't say unions, say special interests. Okay? So it's just there's lots of things you can do that can move the ball forward. He's got a ton of cash. He's likable. He's a family man, successful. So you can just ride that normal lane and let people get to know you, but let them get to know you as who you are as a person, not necessarily as the businessman. Because I know that you think that's what people want to know about you, but it's actually they want to know what you're going to do and how you are going to affect their lives.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to really care that you're a businessman past point of saying that you're a businessman. When you go and you shake these people's hands and kiss babies, like, they're not going to care about that. They're going to care about the issues, things that affect their daily life. And we need to hear more of that. You know, again, like, you see the success of, like, Ron DeSantis, you see the success of, you know, Glenn Youngkin in Virginia, which was a Biden 10+ state that he won by 2 a year after the election. Okay.
Yep.
He ran on, school issues, which were a huge deal in Virginia at the time. He ran on just basically returning the state back to normal after Dems, like, turned it upside down for 10 years. And so, yeah, just run on normal things.
Yeah.
Normal
If he runs a Glenn Youngkin campaign,
show us some personality, please.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. He's
a little bit.
That
New England will allow.
Yeah. I would, for him to I'd say lean into it. And I mean, when I say lean into it, and Holly's probably listening to this, and take my advice on this one, just go, next video, hi, I'm Chris. You know, I'm running for governor. I'm normal. I'm not going to yell about things, but I'm going to tell you, you know, like, just totally, like, I'm boring. I'm this, but, like, and say those words and be like, but I have better ideas than my opponents do for governor. And here's why you should listen to me. And people will go, okay, because you're right. People kind of like boring. A good amount of the voters, that probably a majority, will go like, yeah, I don't need him to inspire me.
I think that was one of the appeals of Charlie Baker, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, he's no bullshit.
And
that's what, I mean, my husband, Mr. Caitlin, loves Charlie Baker because he's not a fire-breathing dragon. Managerially, a great governor, stands up for, I guess, conservatism on the state level in terms of, we don't need to argue with the left. We need to make this work.
Small C conservatism, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
not radical change. Yeah.
Right. And so it's one of those things where it's like, we need that. We don't need someone who's going to fire breathe. I mean, we've talked about issues with Mass GOP in the past. We don't need to relitigate it almost every single time. They're not going to do anything. But we have a real shot here. And so if Chris Doughty doesn't make it this time around, he could be a real contender for the next election. This is how Baker won this, you know.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I think, like, even if he does win the primary, he's in rough shape for the general, simply because the party infrastructure is so, it doesn't exist. I mean, the state committee meeting this week, where
we do need to comment on that.
Yeah, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Yep.
You know, we're to the point now where the state chairman can't even pay for things because it is going to violate the bylaws. Like, that is at a point where I do have to say, what point does the RNC come in and say this is an issue?
I don't know that. I mean, I'm not familiar with the rules or what they can do, Literally, I don't know what they can do to enforce this, because Jim won't seat somebody who was legally elected. Like, he's just like
a duly elected person.
Yeah, it's just like they're just like, it's like, you know, she needs her seat. She's for this district. Seat her. No. Well, you can't do that. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Like because it politically doesn't favor him. Like, so it's unbelievable. No, I shouldn't say that. I got to stop saying that. It's completely believable. It's pathetic and gross. Yeah. And I want to point this
operate on the fact that he's doing these things personally, and he has, you know, actions behind it. He has motivation behind it. It's not that he's doing this and it's unbelievable. No, he's doing this on purpose.
He's doing this to not seat somebody who doesn't support him, so that they can't technically be on the committee. I don't know if he's literally able to do that. I'm not familiar with the bylaws. If only the chairman can seat somebody, or if they're elected and they're already on the committee and it doesn't matter what they say.
I do have to Jeff, okay, on this, like, I know that Mass GOP is like, the chairman is like super hardcore Trumper. Donald Trump was one of the best coalition building presidents that we've had. Like, he was good at when he was good and not shitting on Mitch McConnell the entire time. He was good at passing legislation and working with Congress and working with the Republican majorities in order to get things done. And he was willing to meet with people and all of this stuff. What you're doing right now, Jen, is deplorable and it is despicable. And the fact that you won't seat somebody because it will politically hurt you is insane to me. It is insane to me.
And those
it's not unbelievable, but it is insane to me. And the fact that you can't even write checks. You have employees of Mass GOP. How are they going to get paid? Are they going to get paid through somebody else? Would the treasurer write those checks to make sure that those people get paid? You need to start considering your actions here. You are very isolated. Like, if people on the state committee are getting up and walking out of a meeting so you don't have quorum, that's a problem for you. You are not coming out of this. It does not make you look good. And it doesn't help any of us either. We're the voters. Okay, we're the taxpayers. You're supposed to represent us. And if we can't get anything done because you're deciding to turn the entire state party apparatus into your personal, I don't know, like, way to punch down on people, that's a huge issue. You're not accomplishing anything. So what is the point of you being in this position? Like, that is the serious question that people are asking.
There's actually no point to it now, because he doesn't have any resources to utilize to even help Jeff Deal, right? He can actually only hurt Jeff Deal. It should Jeff Deal win the nomination in September. So this is a funny thing, and I want to point this out. Those who are still supporting it, and you know who you are, and I know who you know who I'm going to call you out. You're on Twitter, and you're deflecting. You're on Facebook, and you're excusing, and you're gaslighting that these failures are somehow successes because you picked a side. This will not be forgotten. This will end. It will end one day. Jim will not be elected one day, and the numbers already bear that out on the committee for the next election. It will happen. He will either decide not to run, or he will be voted out a year from now, unfortunately. But you holding the line on this, and you know who you are, the moneyed interests, the loyalists, why you're being loyal to somebody who's not loyal to you or the party and just loyal to themselves is beyond me. But that's your choice. This will not be forgotten. And after this, you're done. You're done. Because we'll have nothing. We'll have nothing, and we'll have to rebuild, and you will not be a part of the rebuilding. I will personally make an effort to make sure you're on the outside of all of this. And we will start over from scratch with maybe 10 seats, 12 seats in the legislature combined, and we'll have to fight back and claw back. It'll happen because the progressives will overreach. It'll be a long, slow slog, and you will have nothing to do with it because you've gotten everything you've wanted. If you think you're the power behind the throne at this point, okay, but you didn't do anything. You didn't accomplish anything. You keep
you reach the top, but at the same time you decided to keep swinging. So people are going to come for the king.
Yep.
They are going.
Yep, and you'll be on the outside and go fuck yourself.
They're gonna come for the king's followers too.
Yeah.
Like, I hate saying it like that, but like, it's why be this antagonistic? You are creating more enemies than you are actual people who want to help you and spread the message, and it's an actual problem.
Yeah, if you were successful, you'd be successful, and you're not, and you failed, and you'll be done. So it's just going to be time. We'll have to wait it out. Like right now sucks because you're not winning. We're not winning. Nobody's going to, nobody's going to be in a good position when all this is over. But, maybe long term, we'll have to claw this back and hopefully turn it around next year. All right. Topic number 2. Joe Rogan cannot be canceled.
Very interesting thing that's been happening this week with Joe Rogan. I do have to say, Jeff, we talked about this on the Patreon episode. We think that cancel culture is losing, finally losing. Mm-hmm. And Spotify has been really good on this. Neil Young, who is married to Daryl Hannah, who was arrested protesting the Keystone Pipeline, which would have given us energy independence. Pipelines are the safest way to transport natural gas, FYI. Safest and most eco-friendly, actually. Was arrested for that. Neil Young is actually famously a GMO conspiracy theorist. So the irony of all of this going on is not lost on me. And so he, I guess, went to Spotify last week and was like, you either take Joe Rogan off or you can take my playlist off. And they were like, okay, like, we're taking your playlist off, and goodbye, Neil Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would they keep Neil Young's catalog on in comparison to Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan brings in so much more revenue and viewership than Neil Young's entire catalog. Something that you listen to while you're drinking beer, like Joe Rogan. Like, I listen to one of his podcasts like at least twice a month if they have an interesting person on. But it's not only Neil Young. Who else was it? Joni Mitchell. And then Barry Manilow said, no, hang on, I'm not a part of this. I don't know what you're talking about. Right.
Was that like, because his name was floated? He's like, myself nor my management team has sent any letter about anything. Leave me out of it. Good for Barry Manilow. But these boomers, man, I'm telling you, they're
weirdos. I think boomer libs are weirdos. Like, they're like the generation that were like on the cusp of hippies. And so like you hear like, Joni Mitchell say it too. Who else? It was someone else came out and said it. And I was like, who is this person? Like, do boomers even listen to Spotify? Like, that's one of the things that I like.
I guarantee you, well, a couple things. Neil Young, his catalog is owned by Hipgnosis with a Gnosis. Hipgnosis Songs. Hipgnosis Songs is owned by like some conglomerate called Blackstone. Blackstone's senior advisor is the former CEO of Pfizer.
Wait a minute, Blackstone, the company that owns all the houses?
No, that's BlackRock.
BlackRock.
Yeah, Stone Rock. Yeah, I could say no. This is different. It's like a investment fund, but the senior advisor that they brought on like last year was the former CEO of Pfizer.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So it's interesting that like they probably, I'm sure Neil Young is sticking it to the man. Hey man, you dumb hippie.
He's really sticking it to Spotify by backing someone who used to work for Pfizer?
Right.
Okay.
That's essentially it. And also he has his own streaming service, so he's never been a big fan of Spotify. So there's he's
streaming service. See, the thing is like
he's working at cross purposes here. It's just ridiculous.
I don't really give a shit. Okay, like I listen to Spotify and Apple Music. Like I don't care about this stuff, but when you act like a fucking asshole and get on and try to do this for promotion, like I'm sure a bunch of boomers were like, oh yeah, like I'll sign up for Apple Music because of my iPhone, like all this other stuff. It's like no one
The bigger problem is they are so, the cognitive dissonance that they grew up wanting free speech and freedom of ideas and all of these things, and then they want to boycott Joe Rogan, kick him off of Spotify because of misinformation. Guaranteed they have no idea what that, quote, misinformation is. They have no idea that they're talking about serious stuff and asking serious questions and questioning the scientific authority, and rightfully so, on issues of the vaccine and the pandemic. They're real questions. When he had Dr. Malone on and Dr. What's the other guy's name? McCullough. I watched the McCullough one. McCullough, is that right? Did I have that right?
I don't know if
the first guy he had on, 40 million, 50 million views. But he brought up a lot of important issues. There are serious things we need to discuss about this. And the point that is just beyond me, and I mean this beyond me, like I know they're hypocrites, but I don't understand why it doesn't register in their brain, where they go, if you have a situation, this goes to all the people, the journos in Massachusetts that follow me, understand this. If you have a situation where you don't agree with somebody's opinion on any given matter, you can call it misinformation and seek a boycott. It's stupid. Go right ahead. You look like an idiot. Or you can sit down, have a discussion, a debate, figure out exactly where.
Functioning adult.
Yeah, like a normal person, and beat their misinformation with better information. But nobody does that. Nobody takes the time. They just want to do a boycott and be on Team Stupid. And they are the stupid party right now. Because what I would do, to
steal a term from the commentary podcast, yes, the Democrats are definitely the stupid party now, and then all of their underlings who are just like promoting this like concept of like misinformation that's more or less like a PR marker that's become a catch-all term for anything I don't like. And the thing is like there's real misinformation out in the world. I made this point on the other episode. There's real misinformation in the world, but when you don't really confront what you perceive as misinformation with like factual basis and just say it's misinformation, you're actually allowing that person to probably go over to Joe Rogan and listen to those podcasts because they're going to seek it anyway. And that's one of the things that a lot of these legacy media companies don't really understand. When you don't report on the real news, like when we see that, Russia's moving to Ukraine, and then you report on like the cat that they fucking adopted this week. Yeah, people are going to go and seek out other forms of news outlets in order to get that information. So you need to start reporting about things that matter and stop calling everything misinformation. Like you need to present the facts the way that they are. People choose not to do this.
This dovetails into a couple different things, and I want to make sure I get this out before I lose the thought. Joe Rogan has revolutionized what modern media is. He does 2 to 3 to 4 hour long podcasts, really discussing and really letting his guests talk about an issue. And legacy media is still in 30-second, 10-second sound bites and clips, and they don't get it. They don't get it, and 40 million people watch these interviews, and the audience dwarfs
50 million is more than Fox News gets in a week.
It's 10 times, literally 10 times. They get about 3 to 4 million
rating a week. Like Tucker Carlson, I think it's 1 million to 2.
But also politicians and candidates need to listen to this too, because they still think a boring generic video of them sitting, sitting in their living room, Chris's video, I'm sorry, but you plenty of time to fix this, that are inauthentic and kind of just, give a high level summary of who you are and why you're running and whether you're, and even Maura Healey too, just lots of nice words, right? Let's put lots of nice words, slow motion video of you high-fiving a kid or something, like just boring boilerplate shit. we've been seeing it for 20 years. Joe Rogan is the antithesis of that and is killing it because people really are thirsting for something intellectually nutritious. So the fact that he has revolutionized media makes him powerful. And it's not hard to do. If you think that one of his guests said something that's incorrect, you play what the guest says, you pause, you explain why the guest is wrong or why Joe is wrong. You back that up with facts and information. You don't selectively edit it either and take him out of context. If you genuinely have a problem with what he's saying or what his guests say, it's real easy. We do it on this podcast to do and refute them. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. The way to combat speech you don't like is through more speech, not censorship. And the left has not learned and will not learn this lesson. And they will try to cancel people. They try to boycott people.
The left, not liberals in this sense.
Yep.
Liberals
the left.
Liberals would not censor. They would not push.
And Bill Maher. Yep. We mentioned this on the Patreon. Bill Maher is a good example of this. Liberals, listen to Bill Maher. I know you're all scared, okay, because you're afraid of being called a Trump or a right-winger. Just let it go. We know you're a big lefty. Don't worry about it. You're a liberal. You'll always be a liberal. You're not. No one's going to confuse you with a Trumper or a conservative. But yeah, take your mask off, speak out, say no, come up with a better argument to those who want to censor people, and be done with it. Because you're going. This is the thing. You've already lost. The masks are coming off. Okay, the literal masks are coming off the kids. They're coming off people. People are standing up and saying no. There's a massive, massive convoy of truckers in Canada, which has been worse than the United States, protesting Trudeau right now in the middle of January in Ottawa.
And it is freezing
out
there.
If people,
it's below zero.
People are motivated to get out of their house and do this, and you're just like, no, we're still good. Like, no, you're not good. Wake up, or you will face it electorally. And Chris, if you're watching this, you can take advantage of this. Take advantage of this moment. Sorry.
Yeah, Chris, do that. I'm sorry. I do want to make a point. We do want Trudeau to electorally lose in Canada at some point. I know that a general election is way off, but yeah, we want the Liberals in Canada to lose.
Yeah, it'll be better for all of North America. All right. I guess last up, like I knew this would be going a long episode because Mass GOP stuff would eat up a lot of it. SCOTUS pick. Stephen Breyer is retiring, or at least so says the leaks from the White House.
Yeah, so when we got the news of this, we got that he was retiring, and we didn't get the announcement from him, right? Like usually it's an announcement from him, from the justice, him or herself. And we didn't get that. And then we got the news that he was upset or surprised that this was leaked. And that means that the news came from either the White House or someone in the White House or from Chuck Schumer's office. Those are the only two places where this would have come from. And you should be honest, like everyone should be honest about that. So Chuck Schumer fucking over even liberal Supreme Court justice does not surprise me at all, considering the fact that even after Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, his first thought was the politics of a nomination, rather than eulogizing RBG, which was pretty horrific. Donald Trump had the best reaction to her death out of everyone. Chuck Schumer.
That was an Academy Award winning level performance when he was on that runway.
I don't think it was performance. I think that was him.
Well,
I think that was
I mean, the way he played it was just like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Like,
watched the clip. Yeah, I still watched the clip, and I'm like, wow, what a real surreal moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Chuck Schumer immediately tweeting out that the nomination should not go through of the new justice when it was ACB, and so his reaction to it was completely despicable, per usual, because he's a despicable human being. But yeah, so Biden has promised, and he did promise on the campaign trail, that if someone was retiring, the seat would go to a African-American woman. And here on the Rhino podcast, we have to say, There's tons of very qualified picks to go along those lines, and Republicans don't really need to fight this battle. But I
mean, unless it's a true nutbag like communist.
No,
I mean, like,
nope. Here's my thought on this.
Really,
I agree with Charlie Cook on this. Okay, if you listen to the editors this week, I want them to nominate someone crazy.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can see that. Yep.
I want them to nominate someone as progressive as possible. You want to know why?
For electoral purposes?
Yes, because if that person is super crazy and super left-wing, the normals will win.
It's true. I mean, you're going to lose it on the decision of the cases that come before them. The damage they can do is limiting.
I want them to nominate someone who is to the left of Sotomayor.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't want anyone center. I don't want a centrist that's a Dem. I don't want a center left person. I want someone who is far progressive.
You want to drag out those hearings and get them.
We don't even have to drag the hearings. Put that person in. Okay. I want someone who is to the left of Sotomayor.
No. Hang on, Caitlin. We got to drag out the hearings to get their.
It is a safe seat. So why fight it?
No, not to fight it, but to get them on the record for political purposes, right? To say, okay, in your senior thesis, in your doctoral thesis, you said we should confiscate the land of everything south of the Mason-Dixon line. Would you like to explain that further? Something like that.
I want to be the 51st vote on it. That'd be great. No, I'm not kidding, Jeff. I want someone far left. I think the Dems, this is your time. If you're going to have this one last shot, you should put in someone where your party is going. So put them in. We shouldn't fight it.
No, I agree in not fighting it thoroughly, but get them on the record purely for the purposes of letting people know how nuts they might be. We'll see. Like, here's the thing: the center of gravity in that party is bonkers. So it's entirely possible that they could go for the person that is like just absolutely hardcore socialist and communist.
Give the progressives a win here. I mean, like, put someone who is farther to the left of, and you know about the Sotomayor nomination, right? Like, that Lawrence Tribe told Obama that Sotomayor is awful and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Lawrence Tribe said this to Obama himself. Not intellectual and kind of a bully, and so it's interesting that she got through. The thing is like Elena Kagan, she's great. Like, I actually think that she's funny. I disagree with Elena Kagan on a lot of things, but I think that she is a good justice on the Supreme Court. Sotomayor.
Oh,
no, I want someone to the left of Sotomayor.
Her quotes during the last case that, oh my gosh.
The 100 K kids on ventilators.
Yeah, right. 100,000 children are on ventilators. How come we can't, like, what bonkers? I mean, look, they watched. I have no doubt that she probably has The View on in her office, and listening to Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg spout. I mean, you were talking about misinformation. Christ, ABC or whatever syndicated platform The View is on. The View is nothing but misinformation.
Yeah, it's like Navarro, Sunny Hostin.
Oh God!
And Sunny Hostin actually used to be I believe a prosecutor. She's actually like pretty distinguished, and not saying she's qualified for the Supreme Court, but she's distinguished in what her career was before then. And then she went on The View and decided to go crazy.
Which one's she? SON.
It's S. I thought it was SUNNI or Y. Don't tag Hostin. I think it's HO.
Oh, okay. Different person.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. SUN. I thought I was somebody else. I was just looking it up. Anyway. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think the kookier the better for this pick. And don't fight it out. But I say get them on the record.
Yeah, get them. I want everything about this person to be on the record. And again, as left as possible. Just give them the win, Biden.
Yeah. All right, that's it for this episode of the Rhino Podcast. Go to patreon.com/rhinopod to hear more of our musings on a Sunday morning about all things political, both here in Massachusetts and nationally. Only $1 a month, you cheap bastards. Go sign up. You will enjoy it. Get a little extra content. Good luck to Chris Doty. I'm sure I'll be running into him soon somewhere. Holly, Truce, T.O., timeout. We'll call it that for now, because I do like that the fact that you're working for somebody and taking on Jeff. There's a level of respect I absolutely have for that. Anyway, Jim Lyons sucks. We're kind of fucked for this year. Good luck to everybody out there in political land. It'll kind of be, it'll be interesting how we navigate that come convention time. Anyway, all right. Anything else, Caitlin?
No. Bye, guys. Have a good week.
Have a good week. Bye-bye.